it's time to make some art. Maybe cook something tight. Tell a spooky story if you wanna stick around. Let's make something cool while there's no work or school. This quarantine has got me in a rut, so let's just have fun. Yeah! Hello and welcome back to all my favorite creatures. I'm Mars, and thanks for stopping in. Today, I am at my boyfriend's house, and because I'm here, I thought I'd actually tell you some scary stories about this house. This house, from day one, just had a different kind of energy. It felt crowded in here. And because of that, we have had some interesting experiences and continue to have some pretty interesting experiences in this house. Like last night, where randomly there was just a very clear pot just like banged in the kitchen, even though there was no one in here, and it was enough where I was like, you should close the door, I don't want to check. Like, let's not go out there, it's fine. I don't want to check anything out. Other than that, I thought I should start at the beginning. So, a lot has happened, but one of the first most memorable and kind of most alarming incidences was our fire alarm. We had to remove it from my boyfriend's room because it would go off. The batteries, like, we've changed the batteries, it would just go off randomly and stop. Like, we would have to stop it on our own. And it happened pretty often. Like, if we were in the room and we started to talk about something like this, the fire alarm would start going off for no reason. No smoke, nothing, and like, just very odd. In that room, I also have experienced kind of a shadow figure, and this one comes up pretty often. I don't know if I've seen him recently, and I have a reason why I think that that's the case that I'll explain later. But first off, I've noticed just a shadow figure in the corner of our room. It has some not so great energy. I definitely feel like it might want the power in a situation, if that makes sense. So I definitely think it's trying to scare me or scare whatever's in the house, just to kind of get more recognition. I do think that spirits a lot of times are more active when they want recognition from the physical world. And I do think that sometimes ignoring them or basically not giving them that power or that fear is really the best way to kind of combat that energy. When I do give in to that fear, though, at night, I noticed that the spirit was getting larger. It would almost like grow on the ceiling. And so since then, I've been trying, like, my practice to kind of, if it ever bothered me, was just to kind of remember, like, I'm here, I'm the physical being in this situation. And I think that's something that you really want to remember. And I've heard, whether it's a religious staple or just in general, I just think that we're physical, we have the bodies, we can interact with the physical realm, which is something that I do think spirits who can't interact with the physical realm anymore are jealous of, and so that they'll act out occasionally. We also, in that same room, experience, I want to say occasionally it sounds like dripping from the attic. And at first I thought maybe it was like a leak or something, except every once in a while, it doesn't sound like dripping. It sounds very clearly like someone's running around or walking around in our attic. I'm never gonna check it, clearly, because that's terrifying, but it's enough where my boyfriend and I keep the fan on at night because it's pretty, I would say, unsettling. I've been in this house alone and I'm always like, oh, it's probably just a leak, we're fine. And then I'll say that to myself, like even out loud, and like 20 seconds later, there's like a big crash upstairs that just cannot be explained by a leak. And you're just like, you know what? Bigger leak. Our roommate, who is experienced some things, I don't necessarily know if he's a believer or not, but I think we all kind of in this house have a sense of that there's more than we can see. My roommate decided to use a Ouija board I brought for Halloween just for fun, and used it without me knowing. And I have a lot of precautions I put in place before I use any divination, just because I think that it never hurts to be safe. Unfortunately, I wasn't here when he used it, and he did experience some weird things, and since then, I really do feel like we've had a little bit more activity in the house. Specifically, though, the story he told us was that him and a girl he was with at the time decided to use it in our pantry. And it has this pretty blue door that doesn't move ever. In this instance, the girl who he was with was sitting in the pantry with the Ouija board, and he had gotten up to do something else. As soon as he got up and walked out of the pantry, the door slammed behind him. Both of them then immediately thought the other one had slammed the door. Neither of them had. Other cases in this house, especially with my roommate, there was an instance where me and my boyfriend both kind of saw something. I don't know if my boyfriend would say with as much certainty as I feel like I have on this situation, but that night we had gone to the bathroom. And while we were walking down the hall past our roommate's room so that we could get to our room, the door was cracked. And out of the corner of my eye, I swear I could see someone or something. Just like it was like the fan in his room was way too close to the bed. And as I stood there, it's almost like I gained a little bit more perspective. And like, obviously it was one of those situations. You look away, you look back, nothing's there. But for the moment that it was there, I could just get this sense of this woman with like dark gray hair in like a raggedy dress, no shoes, like very gray, pale skin, just floating like above my roommate with her mouth just wide open. This was enough where I actually contacted some people. I talked to my roommate about it. It was pretty unsettling. He experiences some sleep paralysis occasionally and has some past trauma. Whether these are connected to whatever spirit I saw, we don't know, but we did talk about options of why that happened. I haven't seen anything since then. My roommate also has a dog, Heidi, and we love her. She is this beautiful Czech German Shepherd. She's got this all black face. She's just precious. Last weekend, we were having a great time. My boyfriend and his roommate were sitting behind me, hanging out. And my boyfriend went to his room and took a guitar. Now, this guitar is the same one that usually sits in that corner that I see the spirit. Whether this is connected, I don't know, but it has been interesting because I personally haven't been hearing the walking or have seen anything in the corner since we've moved the guitar from the room. My boyfriend brought the guitar out, and I was sitting next to Heidi, the dog, on the couch. And as soon as the guitar was brought into the room, this dog was shaking. And I mean, Heidi is a tough dog. Like, she has been through some stuff, and she comes out on top, always. So this was really, really odd for me to see, because I've been around Heidi for a while now, and I've never seen her shake, like, ever. And she was shaking pretty profusely. Anytime we brought the guitar too close, she would jump up and run, like, to the other side of the room. She would sniff it occasionally, but even so, it was kind of with so much caution, and she would, like, jump back. Very, very odd. Never seen this with the dog. Finally, and I get kind of nervous even talking about this, but it's probably, I've had many an experience with apparitions, some that are just more fully formed than others, some that have literally gotten me out of the house because I was like, nope, I'm just not gonna deal with this. But this one, by far, I feel like was the strongest or most crazy experience I've had, where I was positive, like, just absolutely positive that there was someone there, and, you know, when we went back, there just wasn't. So it was nighttime. My roommate was out of the house. Me and my boyfriend, we were watching a movie, and I wanted to get something from our room, probably like a stuffed animal or something. So I start to walk back there, and all of the lights in the hallways, the laundry room light, it's just kind of dark, but enough where you could still kind of see, like, everything, you know, with night, human night vision. I hate myself. But as I'm walking down the hallway, I get to our bedroom door. Clear as day, it looked like there was a figure standing in the doorway. The door was open, and I'm standing outside of the room, just unable to get myself to pass whatever was there. It was enough where I was like, why would Hunter, our roommate, be standing in the doorway? And I remembered, there's no way this could be Hunter, because Hunter is not in the house. I think I stood there for probably like 10 seconds, petrified, but it just feels like, even now, like it was so much more. Just like staring at this and realizing I could see the outline of shoulders and a head, and it just was this tall person standing in front of me, enough where as soon as I realized this couldn't be anyone real who lived in our house, I booked it, nearly in tears, probably in tears, to my boyfriend, and had him walk us back to the room after turning all the lights on. I refused to walk back to a room for a pretty significant time. Now, we've decided collectively, or at least me and my boyfriend, that we are gonna try and clear some of the energy out of this house. Whether or not it's good or bad, there's just something going on here that we're not totally comfortable with, and so we've decided we're gonna try and sage the house, and I have some other personal rituals that I do to just kind of clear out energy that I feel like might be affecting me. Whether this works is its own question, and I will tell you guys if I experience anything else. Of course, so far, that's all that's happened, and hopefully that's all that will happen. I love a good scary situation, but not when they live in the house with me. So preferably, I would like to experience it outdoors, as I have been in way too many haunted houses. Luckily, this is one of the tamer ones, which I hate to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Mars signing off. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.